what's up with Sean Baligian?
What up, this is Joique Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. What is up? Glad you could join us. It is a Friday morning here, Woodward Sports. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. Joique, it's a
Freestyle Friday.
Freestyle Friday. And good morning to all you guys. Ready, set, go. Make it a great day. Thank you, Scott. Jenna, always appreciate it. My buddy Dave Hubbard. What I'm doing this weekend, I got to give him a shout out. My smoke show partner went and picked up my pulled pork yesterday.
Oh.
My Boston butt, my pork shoulder.
Your Boston butt.
Having that on.
Everybody likes some Boston butt.
Everybody likes some Boston butt, right?
Yeah.
About 17-hour smoke, Joique. It's going to take me about 17 hours.
It is about that.
Yeah.
You were telling me about that.
Yeah.
Why is it so much longer for a pig than beef?
The first thing you have to do is you have to get that pulled flavor, you have to break everything down inside of it. And you have to do it low and slow. And once you got it low and slow, you get that temperature to about, again, between 201, 204. Honestly, Joique, when you have to use gloves because you're going to burn your hands, you could legitimately just rip the pork apart. It's so tender. Oh, it's so good. Oh. Get yourself some coleslaw, some barbecue sauce. Oh, nothing like it. We got a busy day today, by the way.
It is busy.
All right.
Are you on the Facebook today?
I am on the Facebook.
I'm on the
today.
Twitter today.
Okay.
We'll go a little bit. We'll go back and forth.
You know what Dave said? More fat, more cook time. See, ask the chef. Ask the chef. You got to break that stuff down, and it just gets so juicy. I'm telling you, it gets so stinking juicy. Obviously, more reaction about Brad Holmes. Red Wings opening night. It wasn't pretty, and just no other way to say it. But we've got a few guests coming up, including one that we're kind of waiting on right now, which is pretty cool.
You know what though? And this first guest we have coming on is we end up growing a really good relationship over the past few months. She came over to the house, and she's such a competitor, and so she saw my pool table, right? And so we go upstairs and we hop on the pool table. Here she is right here. Here she is right here. Claressa Shields, everybody.
The champ.
The champ.
The champ is here.
The champ is here.
Right? We can drop that right now. Two-time Olympic champion. Flint's own. The pride of Flint. Can we say that?
The GOAT herself.
The pride of the USA. You know what I'm saying?
The pride. Yeah. We had a lot of stuff we want to get into today, but I want to finish this. So she came and we kicked it and we played pool, and she was actually pretty. She was really good, and she almost got me.
Okay.
She almost got me. Right? She almost got me, and I won the first game. But this is where I kind of saw her competitive nature. She said, No. I can't leave until I win. We got to play again. We got to play again.
All right, so now the follow-up is, how long did it take, Claressa? Did you get him the next game? Did it take a couple games? When did you get him?
I lost 2 games, and after I lost 2 games, I'm like, you know what, tonight, not my night. I had just got off a flight. I was a little jet lagged, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she was jet lagged. So I gave her, I gave her a pass. So real quick, how's everything? You're in training right now? You in Albuquerque?
Yeah, I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have my first MMA fight in June sometime. So right now I'm just drilling and learning how to fight off my back, really, because fighting on my feet is my strong point.
Right, exactly. So I see you. Are you out there training with Bone Jones?
Johnny Bone, Holly Hong, Coach Greg Jackson, Coach Winklejohn. Yep.
Talk to me about your regiment, because I'll tell you what, one of the most amazing things, you know how football players prepare, you know how other athletes prepare. You go to war. There's no other way to say it. I mean, it's a war with yourself. It's a war with your trainer. Tell everybody what that training is all about.
Well, since I started MMA training, it's like, let's start from Monday, right? So first thing first is like diet is super important. So I get up Monday morning, I say my morning affirmations, and then after my morning affirmation, I make breakfast, which is oatmeal with cinnamon and honey. Make your oatmeal with the almond milk. Don't use water. If you think oatmeal nasty, it's because you use water. Use almond milk. You got that from me. Thank you. But I would just say that I start there and I eat my morning breakfast, and then I start training. On a Monday, let's say if it's boxing, I do strictly boxing workouts. So I hit the bag, I do boxing drills. Then after, I do some HIIT cardio or just get on the treadmill. Difference between HIIT cardio and cardio is, HIIT cardio is like burpees and running in place and stuff like that. And then just regular cardio is, of course, just jogging on the treadmill, running. And then let's say Tuesday, I get up, do the same thing, morning affirmations, oatmeal, probably some boiled egg if I feel like I need to eat a little bit more. But now it's strictly MMA training. So I bring the smaller glove, the shin guard, I'm kicking the heck out the bag, doing all the boxing, I'm doing all the MMA workouts and whatever workout that they want me to do that's concerning MMA. After, I do cardio again. So like cardio is a big thing for me. That's how I keep my weight down. Then Wednesday, I do nothing but strength and conditioning, which my boyfriend Tony puts me through all kind of rigorous workouts. It really depends on how you feel that day. Like the strength and conditioning coach never tell you, like you're never going to get used to what they tell you to do. It's like 1 minute, you think you know everything and that you've been with this person for 7 months and you guys been training, and then all of a sudden one day he just throws something at you. You're like, you want me to do what? So strength and conditioning is really
that's how it works.
To strengthen the body everywhere, So Tony trains me at Fitness up in Flint, and he just really be getting me together. So I went from benching 135 to 185 from the time of June till December, and my goal was to go into the new year being able to bench 185, and I thought that was a pretty big deal for me. So now we already at Wednesday. Now Thursday, I do it all over again. Boxing, the next day MMA, both of those days cardio, and I kind of eat the same. I forgot to mention that I eat, at about 1, 2 o'clock, about an hour after I work out, and then I go home, rest a little bit, and then I eat again. But I don't eat after 8:30.
Okay. See, and it's funny because she would come in town, right? And I think you were doing a vegan diet for a minute. You was trying it out, I think. And so at Fitness is actually, like you said, her boyfriend Tony, and then my best friend Aaron Higginbottom. They started this gym in Flint called At Fitness, and I think she came in to visit one time, and she fell in love with the gym, and she's been training there, going hard, right? Going hard. And so. To see how much she's grown since she started working out there, it's a testament to the gym. It's a testament to her work ethic. It's great to see. And real quick, are you still doing some type of vegan, or you kind of went away from that? You liked it, or because you're in training, so you have to have some type of extra protein?
I'm a pescatarian, so I was vegan for 8 months, and I haven't eaten any meat except fish over a year. So I stopped eating meat.
Wow.
2000. I want to say 2019 in October. So 2019, 2020 in October. That's a year. So about a year and actually about a few months, I haven't eaten any meat but fish. So I'm a pescatarian, and yes, I do add the fish for my diet, but also too doing the vegan stuff. It's not. Just because it's vegan and it's not meat doesn't mean that it's always healthy. It's a lot of soy and stuff like that, which can kind of, not be actual protein for the body. So fish is the only protein that I eat, and some beans and rice and stuff like that.
All right, and it's funny. What made you give up meat? What made you? Because it's funny because me and you actually stopped eating animal protein around the same time. Like because I gave it up in like November 3rd, and then you gave it up in October. Like, what made you give it up?
You know what? I had just went through a stage where I was sick all the time. You know, and I know like I didn't have any serious health problems. Like, I don't have diabetes, I don't have heart problems, high cholesterol, whatever, because I'm an athlete, you know, and I work out all the time. But it just seemed like I was sick all the time, and then after I would get sick, I would sleep a lot. So it went from like I would get up in the morning, eat a nice healthy breakfast, like some eggs, you know, some sausage, bacon, you know, the hash browns. Like, I can eat, you know, and I would eat that after just waking up, and all of a sudden I'm back asleep again, you know. So I go back to sleep after I eat. I go to sleep about 3 hours, get up, go and eat again, go back to sleep. And then at nighttime, you know, I was eating just to make myself go to sleep, because I was like, I think I was overeating, and I was eating a whole lot of meat. Like, you know, when you got money, you can buy yourself steak, you know, you can buy chicken,
Right.
You can buy, you know, turkey casserole, whatever you want to eat, you can buy. So, you know, when I used to get out of camp, it was like load up on the meat, and I just found myself like not having any energy. And I just started with cutting out steak, which was probably something that I was like, man, I love steak, you know, but I started cutting out steak first, and I started being able to stay up a little bit longer. Then I was like, you know what, let me cut out, you know, pork. Then I went to beef, and then before you knew it, I felt like a little kid. I felt like I had so much energy. So I'm like, you know what, how about I just cut out all meat? And then before I knew it, now I don't even take naps throughout the day. Like, I can train 3-4 times a day and not take one nap and be just fine.
Wow.
And I think that comes from my body not feeling so heavy from me consuming all that meat. You know what I mean?
For sure. I want to take it back real quick, and I want to get your experience with going to your first Olympic and then going back and reclaiming your title the second time. I want to go back, take us through that experience real quick, because, you know, I always dreamed of like being able to represent the country, but you can't represent the country in, you know, in the NFL. I mean, there's no Olympics for that. But like, for you, how was that experience for you?
I will say the first Olympics, I had so many doubters. You know, like, I was just turning 17. I wasn't like a 17 about to be 18. I was just turning 17. And I had just cleaned out my division here in the U.S. And I was undefeated. I think I made it to about 24, 25-0. And then right before the Olympics came, I lost in the World Championship. I didn't even medal at this tournament, right? So I can really say that throughout the amateurs, I only had one loss, and I only have gold medals. Like, I didn't get any medal for that loss. So right before the Olympics, I experienced this loss after being so high, and it really set off a fire in me. You know, it really made me into a different animal, because that loss, it put me in rage to see how people treated me after being undefeated and doing everything I was doing. How they treated me like I was nothing after one loss, and it made me just look at people different. But it also made me strive harder. You know, so going into the Olympics, even some of the coaches doubted me. Some of the team members doubted me. And I'm on a team with fighters like Earl Spence, Terrell Gausha, Rashi Warren, Jamel Herring, a girl named Marlena Sparza, Queen Underwood.
Ooh.
You know, it's the guys who's champions right now, like Joseph Diaz, Jose Ramirez. I was on a team with those guys. And being the youngest on the team, Marcus Brown too, and Michael Hunter. Those guys, I was like a little sister to them. So I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself. I really didn't enjoy the 2012 experience, because I was grown, but then again, it was like I was a kid. You know, everybody on the team was 29, 27, and I'm 17. So the coaches would give them responsibilities of like, hey, don't let her go to the store by herself. Hey, when we're at the airport, you hold his hand, you hold on to his arm, you know. And I just like, do y'all know where I'm from? Like, I'm from Flint. I don't need them to protect me.
Exactly. You know. And
you know,
what's
so
funny?
it was kind of annoying, but go ahead.
No, so it's funny because, right, and you know, I've done my research on you, right, and just different interviews, different articles, different things like that. And tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't think it's a rumor that you started fighting because kids would pick on you when you're younger, and so you'll beat them up, and so they stop messing with you. They stop messing with you, but that's when you realize, hold up, I like this. I like fighting. I like, you know, I like dishing out pain, you know. And so let me see if I can, let me start boxing. Let me see where it takes me. Is that true?
Yeah, somewhat, but honestly, I started boxing due to my dad. My dad told me a story about Muhammad Ali and having a daughter named Layla Ali. And the main part of the conversation was my dad said, if he would have stuck to what he was passionate about, he would have never went to prison. So I was like, you know, what were you passionate about? And at that moment when I asked him, what were you passionate about? Whatever he would have said, I would have went and did it. So he said boxing. And I was like, boxing, like, and he just was like, yeah. And I had never really seen, I may have seen a boxing match, but I wasn't aware of exactly what it was. So my dad mentioned it, Muhammad Ali, and just made me go to, you know, YouTube and look up Muhammad Ali and go and watch, you know, Muhammad Ali movies. Like, you know, fun fact, I thought that Will Smith was the real Muhammad Ali because he played him in his autobiography. You know, so I'm like, oh shoot, to find out that he wasn't even the real Muhammad Ali, like he portrayed him so well. Right. You know, so that's why I started to just really let my dad live his life with me. I didn't know that boxing, that I would fall in love with it. Like, I didn't know. Inspiring.
And speaking of autobiographies, I see Ice Cube, Ryan Destiny are doing your yeah. And so they're doing a documentary on her life coming up in Flint. That's so dope that you came up in Flint. Did you ever think Ice Cube, right? Ice Cube and Ryan would be making a movie, a documentary about your life?
So let me tell you how God works. I actually did think that. I did. Like, seriously? People ask me, like, so it's a documentary about me named T-Rex, right? And that's where it was an actual documentary. Like they followed me in my day-to-day life to the Olympics, after the Olympics, World Championships when I lost, to after I got back from the Olympics and I didn't get any endorsements after 2012 Olympics, and they followed me. So this documentary is worldwide, you know. And now once upon a time it was on Netflix, but it got too big for Netflix. So now if you want to buy it, you can go to Apple Music and look up Claressa Shields T-Rex, and boom, there goes my life story leading up to the Olympics.
Right.
Actually, and after, people were saying like they're going to make another movie about you, like we just know it. And they was like, you know, if you could pick somebody to play you in a movie, I picked Nafisa Williams to play me. That's who I thought I would have play me. But then they were like, you know, who would you have play Jason? And I was like, the only guy in the world that could probably play Jason who's mean enough and stern and got that personality is Ice Cube. And this was so many years ago.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
You know,
bro.
Claressa, I got to bring this up to you again. Claressa Shields, kind enough to join us. It is amazing. We've had some pretty good guests on this show, and honestly, we are getting more reaction about having you on than anybody we've had on, whether it be football players, whether it be hockey players. Yeah. Do you feel that love? I mean, you should see some of the comments here. Tell the quote I said, what's up, 810 in the house, everything. Are you feeling that love from people out there? Do you get that you've become a big thing? I mean, there's no other way to say that.
I think I do feel the love, and I definitely get more love than hate. But, you know, me being, you know, 25 and always active on social media, I tend to comment to some of the negative stuff, but I've been making it my business to kind of tell people that who are positive toward me that I love them and that I appreciate them, and kind of being more inspirational and positive note, because for some reason, you know, negative comments kind of make me kind of, get snappy a little bit more. But I really do appreciate
snap that
the
jab
love
out, right?
I'm at a point in my life now. Yeah, I'm at a point in my life now to where I don't really want those negative comments. Like, they don't drive me anymore. Like, that was my, the reason to win the first Olympics was to prove the doubters wrong. Now going into my second Olympics, it was like, I don't even care what nobody thinks. It's about me. It's about me proving that I can do something that no other boxer in America has done. And at first, I really didn't realize how big of a goal it was to be a two-time Olympic gold medalist until I realized that it never been done before. And it was guys that went to the Olympics 2-3 times for the U.S. and didn't even come home with a medal. So now I'm trying to go back and be a two-time Olympic gold medalist. Like, I'm trying to make something that's impossible possible. And it's like, is this even possible to do? Like, can you go back to the Olympics again and do it 2 times, I just told myself, like, yeah, you can. And all of a sudden, now we're here, 2-time Olympic champ.
It's funny. She's so competitive, but yes, she's so humble.
Yep.
Right? She's so humble, and so she calls herself the GOAT because she doesn't want to call herself the GOAT because she wants to give the GOAT to Ali. But she said, but I'm the greatest woman of all time. And all right. And so she always gives it up. She said, Ali's the greatest, and I'm right behind him. And so, speaking of Ali's, why Layla keep ducking you, bro? Why she ducking you?
You know what? I honestly, like I said, being on a positive note, I think that in society, always want Black women to be against each other, or just women in general. But you see so much stuff happen because there is nobody in the middle saying, "Oh, don't be cool with him and don't be cool with him." It's more like a unity thing, like y'all brothers. And girls are more, girls and women are more like, they have like a little jealousy thing in them somewhere, And when they see another woman who's in their field or another woman who is being compared to them, some women, it makes them angry. And I think that me being from Flint, growing up poor, having to really fight my way out from the trenches and make it to where I made it to, and then to have my name in the same sentence as Layla Ali, even early on in my career, I think that that's what kind of started the beef with me and Layla. And I think that people comparing me and her kind of brought out the competitive edge in her because she retired early. She retired at the age of 29 years old. And that's super young to retire. Like, I'm 25, so retiring in 4 years, no. But she retired early, and it was always girls calling her out, always girls wanting to fight her, like Ian Wolf, Letitia Robertson. It's a couple other girls that wanted to fight her, and those fights never came to fruition. So I kind of feel like when it was me being compared to her, and the fact that she did want to fight in the Olympics, and the fact that she did want to be a champ, for the world, and she was never given that opportunity, even though she was Muhammad Ali's daughter. I think that's what kind of sparked the beef. It really wasn't what she said or what I said. It was that the world was comparing us, and she felt like she was too high to compare to me. And
you know what?
She was, and she was wrong to think that, because I am a very skilled fighter, and I am the best, and I am the greatest woman of all time. And it wasn't any disrespect to her, but when they get talking about who fight better, I just hit them with facts. And when you hit people with facts, it kind of hurt people's feelings. So I think that I may have triggered her with my words, and she triggered me with her words. And that's kind of how we got to this point. But I don't, at a point, I thought we were going to fight. But I think she kind of used it as a publicity stunt for herself, right? And which was a smart move on her end. And I would just say that, I got a lot of respect for it, but I don't think that no woman boxer in this world can beat me, no matter who they are. I don't think a lot of men that can beat me. I'm keeping it real, Joy. There's not a lot of men that can get in the ring.
That's period. Hey,
that's real.
I've seen us sparring, All right, I seen her sparring, and she sparred with guys in the ring, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I saw a clip of you, and you had took a hit across the chin, and she went into beast mode. And so she went into beast mode, and so Tony's on the side of the ring, and she just started throwing some haymakers. She was like, ha 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 ha. Tony was like, you're getting mad. She said, shut up, Tony.
No.
Yeah. Yes, you did. And so. Yeah, so you know what? So the next thing is, I don't think it's a woman versus, a black woman versus black woman thing. I think it's the best boxer versus the best boxer thing. That's what I think it is. I don't think it has anything to do with that. But real talk, I want to say what I want to say, but this is a conversation that you and I had, so I'm not going to say it. You said, we had that conversation at the crib. It was like, she better sit down somewhere. She don't want to hug. She don't want to catch these hands. We had this conversation at the house.
No, listen. Hey, listen, Joique. I meant every word I said too. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't
that's
no.
That's that murder midnighter. I love it.
You know what I mean? Though? Like, I meant every word that I said, but I'm trying to be on a nicer spectrum, because I feel like if we're not ever going to fight, me and Layla Ali shouldn't be beefed out forever. But the truth is, I'm a young, hungry lion, and anybody that get in there with me will get eaten up. Anybody, And if it's somebody who I think who I can't beat, and they telling me, oh, she's too strong, she's too big. If I got months to train for whoever that person is, they're not going to be too big and too strong when we get inside the ring, because I'm going to prepare.
All right. I got you. I love it. And that's a great mentality to have, because you're right. If you guys don't fight, you shouldn't beef. But until you guys get in the ring about who's the best, not Muhammad Ali, but if Floyd came back out of retirement for a fight that people thought can happen, that you're going to lose this one, I think this is a similar thing with Layla. She wants to be considered the greatest woman of all time. 41 is not too old to get back in that boxing ring. It's not. It's going to take a lot of training to get back.
Hold on. We just had Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. I don't want to hear about no age.
Hey, I don't want to hear nothing about it.
That's great.
Hey.
I don't want to hear nothing about
Tyson,
it.
Joique, if you was to get in the ring with Tyson, I'd be a little scared.
What?
For real.
What? I'm not getting in no ring with Mike. You know what though? For charity, right? I'll be a ringside coach, and we'll put Claressa in there with Mike Tyson, and I'll coach her up. I'll coach.
Hey, we're going to be keeping an eye on what's going on in your career. I know there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up, Claressa, and seriously, I speak for everyone. We're proud of you already, and we know there's even greater things to come. I mean that. And
before you get up out of here, I want to talk about, who do you have for your next fight? Can we talk about that?
So my next fight is against Marie-Eve Dicaire. Trying to get everything locked in right now. It should be an announcement within the next few days, if not today.
Ooh.
But it's really a women's movement, and when I say that, just to give it a little tease, like, it's a women's pay-per-view, and I think that it's going to show the men, because these boxing networks are so sexist. Like, it's going to show them that we're not always going to sit around and wait for you guys to give us opportunities. We're going to go out there and get them. So the next fight will definitely be huge. I think that a lot of professional athletes will tune in and watch, and it'll be a big movement for just women in general, because because I'm going to a place where no man has been, and this is really a card of super women, and I can't wait till it to be fully announced, to where y'all can see all the girls fighting on the card, and just see that it's a big opportunity for me to be, to become undisputed. You know, again, I'm already undisputed at 160, be undisputed at 154. So this is huge. So I can't wait for the news to come out. And everybody just stay tuned so you can get the full info.
I'll be there. Hey,
Looking forward to it.
Listen, I'll be there.
For sure.
For sure. I'm for sure pulling up. You know what I'm saying? We about to be in that thing. I'm about to be out there. I don't know what the protocol might be, but if I got to sneak in through the ceiling, I'm coming
Probably
in.
a mask, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm pulling up. I'm supporting for sure. Hey, Claressa Shields, everybody. And before we go, real quick, where can we get your merchandise? Where can we get your merchandise?
www.ClaressaShields.com. www.ClaressaShields.com. I got my GWOAT hoodies. I got GWOAT t-shirts. I got a GWOAT dial that's limited edition. Go on there and get it because once my fight get announced, all my merch is going to.
For sure. I'm definitely going there today. I promise you, I'm going there today. I'm copping everything I need. I'm copping.
Keep an eye on her. Claressa Shields, the champ, the gold medalist, so much more to come. Appreciate you, Claressa. Thank you so much for your time.
For sure.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right.
No.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on her to be sure. There's more coming, okay? Wink, wink, nod, nod. There's definitely more coming out of her.
For sure.
Listen, we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to talk to another guy that, Joique, I know you have some familiarity with.
Sure.
Former Detroit Lion, current Minnesota Viking, Ameer Abdullah. Joining us next. Don't go anywhere. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Spinning him down, putting the ball in the one. Second and goal, and Joique Bell goes in for the touchdown.
What's up, Joique? Hey, Joique! Hey, what's up? What's going on here? Oh, Joique! Hey, Joique!
All right, welcome back in. Glad you can join us. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. Pleasure talking to Claressa Shields. I had a chance to talk to her on the radio a couple years back for the radio station that I work for. Love the conversation. There's no doubt about it. Love this guy as well. Joique, you know him a little better than I, but we got a chance to see him do some work not only in the Big Ten at Nebraska, but here. And, of course, well, against the Detroit Lions as well. I don't know if this means anything to him, but to a lot of guys in the media, he was known as one of the great guys to have a conversation with. Ameer Abdullah kindly joining us here on Baligian and Bell on the Woodward Sports Network. And first of all, Ameer, thanks so much for joining us, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. What's up, Joique?
What's up, my guy? How's everything?
Everything is well, man. Everything is well. I'm here still in Minneapolis, getting some things together before I hit the road, do this off-season thing. You know how it goes. But appreciate you guys having me on.
No, for sure. So after that, this new norm of a season that you just had, how's your body holding up?
Actually, a lot better, to be honest. I know a lot of guys didn't really like the schedule because you didn't have the same preparation time. You couldn't really fine-tune yourself in preseason to get ready to get tackled. You know how that goes, getting acclimated to that. But all the protocols really, restricted the time that we could be together. And then, Joique, playing this game, it's not really the games that wear you down. it's the practice, and it's an everyday grind of that really gets to you. And when you have like protocols that restrict hours that you can practice, the contact that you can do, it actually had a positive inverse effect, I feel like, on us as players, where we've lasted a lot longer. That's why you see like the numbers this year. Everyone's numbers were like really big, you know what I mean? Especially on the offensive side of the ball. And I think these guys were feeling fresh at the moment.
You know, Ameer, Joique, you bring up such a good point. This was such a different year, and I have to speak as a fan. We all wanted you guys back something fierce. You know, there was that time in the summer where I think everybody was sitting there going, are we going to play football this year? And it was funny because I caught myself, Ameer, and it was like, well, wait a second. These guys are human beings too. They're living through the same fears that we are. They can't wear the mask. What was that process like for you and your teammates? Because, yeah, everybody wants you back, but at the same time, hey, listen, you guys are human beings. You have to worry, am I going to get sick? Is this going to – what was that like for you mentally to deal with heading into this one?
It was a lot. Not so much for me specifically because I don't have a family. I don't have too many people depending on me. So me worrying about my loved ones getting sick or whatever the situation may be for certain players who opted out didn't really exist. But I did have teammates who, you know, they have families and they're trying to figure out, like, what's the right steps for me. And then during that, you know, mental process, you're also getting pressure from the community, the fan base, you know, once again, kind of dehumanizing you a little bit and acting as if you are put on this earth just to perform for them, you know, a little bit. But those pressures are real, and obviously it's our job. It's how we make money. And that reality, I think, holds strong and true more than anything. Like, we were really afraid if we were going to have jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing. A lot of guys, they leave school early to come play this game, and then if the game of football was, for say, last year, COVID got so bad that it eliminated everything. You know, sports, people just would be jobless, and, you know, people have mortgages, people have bills, just like normal people, like you said.
Sure.
So it was a lot of balancing out of different unknowns before last year. I think that was very uncomfortable for a lot of guys.
I like it. Real quick, so we're coming to the show every day. It's me and Sean. I think can he see you, Art, back here? Take a look at Art real quick. Get a close look at Art.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Oh, now it's nice to meet you, but you see how it is. You see, it's nice to meet you. But when I want you to see his face so you can see the person who said this, right? And so when you came back to Detroit, right? And you scored your second touchdown of the season against the Lions. You went in the end zone and you did the Blade Icewood boss up and get this money. Hey, you know what I'm saying? All love. It's all love. And so the funny part is that when you did that, Art came in. He didn't know what to think. He said, man, Ameer came in here and he's disrespecting the Lions. I said, he's not disrespecting the Lions. What are you talking about? I was like, he's showing love. He said, well, I asked Corey. I'm like, Corey, out of all people, you gonna ask Corey? No, I said it was all love. It was all love. So I told him that me and you we spoke briefly on social media, and you were like, no, it was all love, and it was good to be back home, and you know you came back, you let people know like I haven't forgot about Detroit. I still got love for you guys. Here you go. We're gonna boss up one last time before I get up out of here. It was all love though, and that's how I took it because I know your heart though. But people who don't know you.
He's throwing Art under the bus, Ameer.
Let me speak on that. Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah, speak on it real quick.
There's like this imaginary narrative that goes around like I hate the Lions. Bro, I love the Lions. Bro, the Lions gave me my first opportunity to come to the league and do what I set out to do since I was 6 years old. And like there's no malice there and there's no like intention to like get back at the Lions or, you know, every touchdown is perfect. It's like, no, it's not at all, man. I feel like that city gave me way more good than it ever gave me bad. You know what I mean? That's just how I move in life. I feel like everything, even the moments that you don't achieve what you necessarily want, which I can say when I was at the Lions, I didn't achieve everything that I went out to get when I was there. But that's because I was immature mentally, and I've grown a lot since then. And but even in those moments, it's still love, man, because you're learning a lesson. And Detroit, bro, love that city. Man. It's just like being there, I feel like there's a different cultural tie to the shared trauma, the shared experiences that people have had in that city. And if you're there long enough, it rubs off of you, and you start to move with that same confidence. Man. People in Detroit move with unbelievable, swift, and decisive confidence. And I feel like that's not shown enough. Anytime I come back, I'm always show love.
For sure.
Love hearing that.
And I've kind of watched you from your rookie year, and just kind of just watch your different levels as you get farther along in your career, and also in life in general, right? And so you and I both know that when you play in this league, when you initially get into it, it's mostly physical. Like, it's mental, but it's mostly physical. But as you continue to grow, it becomes more mental than physical. And in watching you, I've seen you became more inclined with doing different things like yoga, different things to keep your body right, different breathing techniques that you do, and different exercises you do. What prompted you to start doing those things?
Just really trying to connect with what makes me go as a person. You know what I mean? I feel like what we do, who we are, like, sometimes is really who we are all the time. You know what I mean? Like, even in your most casual moments of, like, how you think, when you're sitting down, what are you prioritizing just subconsciously? I feel like that really shows itself at all levels of your life. And for a while, I didn't really have a good grip on who I was, what really made me tick. And I feel like a lot of practices like yoga, where you really have to dive deeper into your breath to stay balanced in certain poses and really challenge your mind to be focused on that present moment, it really reveals who you are fundamentally as a person. And I've really just been on a journey with that to better myself in all areas of life, not just football, but what I do with real estate, what I do with business, and what I do with my personal life and my family and my loved ones. I feel like understanding I can't compartmentalize my life. I can't be one person here and another person there. Those two identities are going to bleed together at some point. You know what I mean? Like, there's no separation in that. We're just one whole as a being, deep down to our core. And just diving into those practices like, meditation, breath work, yoga, more functional patterns in my strength and conditioning program are some of the more, I would say, oriental and old school models that were kind of adapted. Like, if you watch like Bruce Lee, dude was incredible, but he wasn't a huge guy. But the way he moved came from the way he trained. He trained from the inside out, not the outside in. And I feel like, you look at a lot of college programs that training from the outside in. Like you said, it was more physical than mental, right? Early in our careers. But if we were taught, or if we had the understanding and the contraceptive to realize that everything starts inside out, I feel like a lot of people will jump ahead of that rookie curve, that a lot of people go through. But that's for me, man. Like, just training my body to understand the inward first before I try to do anything outside really became a priority for me.
I love hearing you talk up the D the way you did too. And as Bruce Lee would say, be like water. I'll snap to that
like
too.
Water.
I love hearing you talk about the D like that because, Ameer, for me, I grew up here. I love it here, and obviously I'm biased, but there are so many guys like you that came here, had a perception, and then come away going, man, that place is the bomb. But I will say this, there's Detroit snow, and there's Minneapolis snow, and we're looking at that picture behind you right now. Yeah. That's Minneapolis. How's that transition been for you, man? Look at that.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's levels. It's levels, man. I tell people all the time, like, it's so cold in the D, but Minnesota is the king of the winter. It is. It really is.
Minnesota.
It's like, I remember 2 years ago, it was like my first real official year with the Minnesota Vikings. And we were in like a polar vortex. You guys remember that? When like, it was like weather advisory.
Yeah.
It got down to -76. -76. They had to down the city. No one could go outside. And it was like some Armageddon 2012 scene out of the movie, like the world is ending. It was crazy, man. Cars wouldn't start up. They said,
bro, you know what that reminds me of? Have you ever seen the movie Day After Tomorrow? Yeah. That's what that reminds me. Day After Tomorrow. That's what the car, just like a helicopter mid-air just freezes. The car stopped running. People are freezing before they get out the car. That's what it felt like. You couldn't go outside longer than like 2 minutes without getting frostbite. It was crazy. It was crazy. Luckily for me though, I think I was training. I wasn't even here for it. I think I was in California training, so I lucked up. I think it was like around 2018.
Yeah.
2018. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I was in so I didn't have to go through it. But man, I heard, and when I came home, it was still cold, but it wasn't like, something different.
How's that move been to Minnesota for you? I mean, you stay in the division. Obviously, there's familiarity with the division. Look, this year didn't go the way that you guys expected. I mean, no doubt about that, but a heck of a lot of talent there. How's it been with the Vikings for you, Ameer?
Man, it's really been great, man. It's been a great learning curve, and it's been good for me in my career, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, coming here, it was a really good team, already really good coaching staff, things that we were familiar with playing against Detroit. So I feel like Minnesota, for me, offers a good opportunity to expand my game a little bit more. And I think that's kind of where I am in my career, just finishing year 6, hoping for another 3 years or so. Transitioning more to the position where I can do what I do best a lot more. I think it's kind of worked out in my favor. And I don't know if I would have went to any other organization, I would say the same thing. But I want to be honest, man. I'm kind of tired of being in the NFC North. Man. I'm tired of defenses are too good. Defenses are too good, man. Like Green Bay, Chicago, even Detroit. Like every week, I feel like we get beat up, man. We get beat up really bad. We play a divisional game, and you can always tell the difference. Like going down to Tampa, which Tampa has a really good defense. They're ranked higher than a lot of teams in our division, but we went down and played them. And it just felt different. It felt a lot easier offensively for us to run the ball, just be successful. And it really made me realize how good the defenses are in the NFC North. So I'm kind of tired of running against it, man. I'm tired.
That's why they call it NFC North, the black and blue division. Mm-hmm. The black and blue division for sure. Because what you're saying is true. Like you can play the worst team, but it's the hits though. The defense, they cannot be that good, but they're physical, right? They can be real physical. Mm-hmm. And so we the black and blue lead to where, listen, we're gonna beat you up, and we'll look at the score at the end of the game.
Could you imagine your boy and his skill set in Kansas City? No, seriously. Think about Ameer with everything that he brings to the table, playing in an offense like that.
That'd be perfect.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, what was so?
Hey, speak it up.
So real quick, so going from different backfield, I guess running back rooms when you're watching film to going to different teams. What was some of the things you noticed that was different? I mean, besides the players, obviously, from when you went to the running back room in Detroit to the Vikings.
Not as much veteran leadership as we had in Detroit. Obviously, when I came in, I had you and Theo. You guys were like literally holding my hand through the whole season, just trying to get me through it. And I feel like that presence really makes it comfortable, in the running back room. Here in Minnesota, everyone's relatively young. I'm actually the oldest guy in the room in Minnesota. So it's a lot different responsibility where I'm the oldest guy, but obviously Dalvin Cook is our starting running back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a voice of reason that people kind of come to, which is me. And then when it comes to like the actual leadership to know what to do, right now they're watching Dalvin. So it's a very weird dynamic, man. And then obviously very different coaches. Like I played for 2 different coaches. And Detroit, Curtis Mockins, that's my boy. That's my dog to the end right there. He's
you still keep in touch with him?
He's yeah, I do. He's out in Denver. Coaching running backs there. Really good dude. And then David Walker, who's like a way more X and O guy. You know, he'll get on the board and he'll really, you know, teach you every scheme you need to know about, you know, the NFL run game. And then when I came over here to Minnesota, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kennedy Palomalu. It's Troy Polamalu's uncle. He's a long-time successful coach at USC. He's running back coach for who recruited Reggie Bush. He was in Jacksonville for a long time. Marshawn Shrew, Fred Taylor, very successful running back coach. And he's very well respected. So, like, he commands the room. He makes you feel like his son. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was so many different environments that I was in. But I would say the main difference is just not really having that veteran voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Question: did you it's different now, right? So, and we had Brandon Graham come on, and we talked about, like we said, this season and how different it was. Is this affecting like your teams, like that team camaraderie? Like, what are you guys doing in the running back room to make sure you guys are staying connected? Cause you know, I would have you guys come up to the house. We go play pool, ping pong upstairs, watch a movie. I know we kicked it. Like, what do you guys? I mean, what can you guys do now? Like, I heard video games.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's actually a really good point you just bring up, man. We usually do that, man. Like, the running back group here, we were really close. We were really close here in Minnesota. And we would either meet up at Dalvin's house, meet up at someone else's house, and we would always just play the game, play Madden, get some food, chill. But this year, we couldn't really do that, man. I would say what kept us connected this year really was just, like, group chats. Memes and group chats, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And it did kind of suck, man, because, like, you build, like, such a bond and a brotherhood with the guys who you share the field with. And it was kind of disappointing not to really share those moments this year. But, hey, man, Joique, I'm trying to come to Detroit, back to your house, man. I'm trying to.
Man, what's up, man? Hey, we always, there's always a room for you, Brody. There's always a room. You always got a room, Brody. Real quick, real quick, I know you got Sean has a lot of questions. He has a lot, but I'm catching up with the bro.
No,
I'm catching up with the bro.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
Go with yourself.
Because on the show we always talk about business, whether it be real estate or the cannabis industry or anything like that. Do you ever speak business with your like with the younger guys on the team, just about investing and things like that a lot? And do they take to it?
You know what? It's tough. It's a tough medium to crack through now, man. Young kids these days are wild. Like, they're wild, man. They're fun. They're fun to be around. They're funny. But, like, just the want to or even the awareness that some of this stuff exists is very low right now, which is, like, kind of disappointing a little bit. Because I had guys like you and DeAndre Levy who would always be in my ear. You remember, like, just telling me, you know, how to invest my money, how to save money, and things like that. On occasions, I do, but a lot of it is very, like, base level things. I'm hoping to, like, create some kind of network that I could pitch to the NFL where we can really get this information shared as a community more. Maybe, like, set up some type of app where players share information, you know, amongst each other when it comes to business, so people can really have a better way to understand how they should manage themselves financially in the league. Because a lot of times we have these large seminars where people come in and they talk at you for 2 hours, but, you know, how many times do you really retain that kind of information as opposed to the information I retain from you, us talking in the locker room where you really know this person is really a brotherhood and a connection there. Nah, man, not as much. It's more so me just telling them what I do, but not really getting into the specifics.
I think that's the best way for you, bro. Honestly, I think that's the best way to do it, is to keep doing your business deals, and then you just keep talking about it around it, because it's foreign to them, right? Because usually and just for the most part, like African Americans, we don't really come up around like a lot. Like some do, some don't. And so when we get into the NFL, we have to kind of teach ourselves and surround ourselves around people who honestly are smarter in their field than us. And so that's one thing I had to learn probably after like my third year. After going into my third year, I said, you know what? I have to start surrounding myself around people who know more than me. And then eventually I'll catch on, and then I'll be able to surpass them or continue to like teach each other, so to speak. But I think the best thing to do is like what you're doing. Just continue to do it. And once they, start to get that business awareness, they'll come back to you and say, listen, I got this idea. What you think about it? And then you'll start answering these questions, and they say, okay, well, he is business savvy. Let me keep going back to him with more things. And then you get to a point where, you know what? If you really want to do this, come in. We'll do a deal together. We'll both put in, and let's see how it goes. And a person who did that, who's doing that quite well, is Rob Sims, right? So Rob is doing that with like Calvin. They started up this thing called Locker Room Consulting, where they want to invest with other athletes around the NFL, and they actually went to like I think the Seahawks and did like a pitch for the team about their company on people who come in, they can buy or invest certain amount of money for a certain amount of units. It was a dope idea, and they're doing well with it. And so it's dope that you are business. I'm happy to see my bro just out there. I'm so proud of Amir, bro. I'm not lying, bro. I'm not saying that like
appreciate that, man.
Like I'm not saying like I'm a big dog. I'm just saying like I'm just happy to see my bro just living life. He's in a good mental space. He's investing. He's the big dog in the room now. And now you got some young pups you're gonna have to bring along with you. And I mean, it's full circle, man. It's what it is.
I gotta ask Amir one thing. Now, Amir, I'm a big college guy, and on my bucket list, I've always wanted to go to Lincoln. Like, I always wanted to see a game at Nebraska. Growing up for me, like Nebraska-Oklahoma was can't miss when they were in the same conference. What was that experience like for you? Because I've always envisioned not just Lincoln, but the entire state shuts down when you guys play. What was that like?
Man, Lincoln is a special place. You definitely got to go watch ball there. Hopefully the atmosphere for football will return so you can experience that, man. Lincoln was probably the best decision I probably ever made in my life. Like, deciding to go to Nebraska was probably one of the best decisions I've made. That set me up to what I'm saying. And just the home game experience was incredible, especially like my senior year. And I was having the best statistical year of my career. I was like in the Heisman conversation. What they do for players there is like, it's almost more crazy than the NFL. You know how people are crazy about the NFL, but like, I think the fans in Lincoln go way harder for their players than any fan in the NFL. Like my senior year, homecoming, they spelled out Fear Amir on the field for me. The whole band did. And like, just to have that kind of like support from a school, you know what I mean? Like a town.
Yeah.
Not very big. It's just a town. You know, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's a feeling I can't even put into words. Like really experiencing the life of being a Nebraska football player, because that's all they have there. You know what I'm saying? Like we were decent there. We were always ranked in the top 20, but like we weren't the '90s Nebraska team. However, they treated us just like the 90s team, no matter what, no matter how good or bad you were, which is you can't say that for many places.
For sure. It's funny you said that, because was that for your last game?
It was a homecoming. It was a homecoming my senior year. So
you know what's so dope about it? That's so dope, bro, because something similar is they didn't spell it out my name. I wasn't that big. But what they did was they brought my high school band from Ben Harbor up to Detroit and let them perform for my last home.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
That was
absolutely.
Because I don't know. I mean, I used to be in band. I played the tuba.
You used to be in a band?
I never knew that.
I used to be in band.
I did too.
What? Hold on. What you used to play?
The baritone. I played the baritone.
Bro, listen. So the first instrument I ever played was the baritone. Never knew that, bro. We could have been. And so I started off with the baritone.
I can actually play like brass instruments, man. I can play the trumpet, the trombone, and the baritone.
That's crazy.
Start the NFL band, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Because I started off playing the baritone from 5th grade to the 7th, and then 8th grade I switched over to tuba because I wanted to play the songs for the bands and make them dance. So I was like, yeah, that's around Drumline had just came out. Band was cool. We used to play we used to call ourselves the Trummers, bro. I'm not lying. Great. And so we'll go to like different like parades, right? And we're like in high school, but we're going to like the Circuit City Classic that used to be held in Indianapolis. And so we're competing against college bands. And so what we would do is when the band, like before the parade starts or when it ends, if a tuba want to challenge like another tuba section, you hold your tubas in the air. And like accepting all challenges, right?
That's great.
And so we had this and so we hold our tubas up, and then you have like a tuba and their drummers will come up, and our tubas and drummers will walk up, and we used to call ourselves the Trummers. So the tubas and drummers together. So we'll compete against these other schools. Some of the best. It was fun though. It was good times.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Give me a band story real quick, Ameer.
Oh, band story. Middle school, I was going out for first chair when I switched over from the baritone to the trombone. And I had practiced like all week. I was super hyped. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get first chair. I was like second chair. And then the guy who was first chair was really good. We go out there and we're doing like the little playoff, whatever we call that. But he smokes it, and then I completely choked. The situation away. I got through the first couple little chords, and I forget. So I started trying to freestyle, and it sounded so terrible that everyone just started laughing, and it became like a joke. It was just like, yo, we're just freestyle. And he said, forget it. And you know what though? Moral of the story, even if you're choked in that moment, still give it everything you got.
It's a lesson for everything you got there. Bro.
Give it all you got. Give it all you got. So,
by the way, you notice in the background, it looks like he picked up about an inch of snow in the time that we've been talking to him. That's Minneapolis, man. Look at that. Looks like we picked up about an inch of snow for the guy. That's great.
It's great, man. Hey, so real quick, man, I never knew that, and I didn't know you were musically inclined. Do you still play any instruments now?
Man, I pick up the guitar every now and then. I'm not as good as I should be for as long as I've been playing the guitar. I'm decent on the keyboard. In my free time, I like for fun. One of my hobbies is just to produce instrumentals. I think that's really fun. I think it's a good creative outlet. So I know how to do a little bit of everything, but I'm not great at any one thing.
It's fun. We're going to have to connect them with? We're going to have to connect you with Javid Best, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's producing now.
Yeah,
he's producing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it serious. I'm for the fun only. I'm for the fun only.
For the fun. You know what, man? We're gonna get together. You're gonna get your trombone. This time you're not gonna choke. I'm gonna get on the piano. I'm gonna get on the piano. We're gonna get Javid in. Yeah, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna play something, but only by ear. So if we're gonna play something, you gotta let me know so I can at least have a day or two to prepare for it. But no, real talk. We're gonna have a good time.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Ameer, really appreciate your time. Always appreciate it here. I'm going to say it again. You were always a pleasure to deal with. You're still a pleasure to deal with. You're a guy we're always going to root for. I'm serious. Whether you're in Minnesota or any place else, we wish you the best, man, and I hope you have a great off season, getting your body right again.
And for sure. Before you get out of here,
I appreciate it.
Before you get up out of here, is there anything you want to kind of put out there real quick, like your creative house? I know you have your podcast going right now. What's the name of your podcast?
Oh, no, I don't have a podcast. I just do random things. My thing is I got to start planning things better. I'm really creative, but I'm all over the place when it comes to planning. But one thing I do have together is my brand awareness, my awareness brand, creative house, which we do anything from productions, We curate media content for other businesses. We obviously, our apparel is probably our most consistent thing right now. You can find us at creativehousem.com, or you can go to my YouTube or my Instagram, and you can find the links for our shop there. Yeah, man, we're actually working on a couple of partner deals with Lululemon and a couple companies. So we're really growing a lot more on our production sides. You guys be looking out for productions. That's what I do outside of football, is film and direction and production. So just to give you guys an insight on that.
Creative House.
Creative House. I'll be tapping in with you, Ameer.
Great talking with you, Ameer.
Sure.
Glad things are going well, and appreciate you big time. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you coming on, bro.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Come on.
Ameer Abdullah kindly joining us, Minnesota Viking, Detroit Lion, of course, Nebraska Cornhusker as well. Joique, I mean it. That guy's skill set and
will be perfect with Kansas.
Oh, dude.
It would be perfect.
I remember when you guys had, what was it, 25, how the years run together, but you guys had a practice out near where I live. You guys had a practice at Novi High School, and it was funny because I was standing with Scott Bischoff, actually. And Scott was telling me all these things because, you know, he was big on Ameer's talent. And it was fascinating, like watching Ameer. People don't realize how good that guy is. I mean, he is a really offensive weapon. And he's the kind of running back, and we talked about this a bit yesterday. The league has changed, man. We grew up in an era, I grew up in an era where you knew who everybody's. There was Barry Sanders in Detroit. There was Emmitt Smith in Dallas. There was Walter Payton in Chicago. You know what? Each place has 2 or 3 guys now. I mean, as good as Dalvin Cook is, and he is, you're still seeing some other guys get some touches and everything. That's a guy that's a perfect piece in the National Football League at running back, and what he can do out of the backfield, and what he can do in the return game.
And what he can do in the running back room. Right, and so we had these conversations about how important it is to make sure you have that leadership in the running back room.
Sure.
Ameer has that now. He has that mantle. That mantle for me was Fred Jackson, Marshawn Lynch. I played with Shady for a while, Pierre Thomas, Reggie Bush. Went to the Colts. It was, Mike Hart, those guys, Joseph Adai. And then coming to Detroit, where I had like a Kevin Smith who was very knowledgeable about the game, and then Montel Owens. And so these type of guys you have in the locker room can really help guide you into the right path, because when you come into the NFL, you don't really know what it is to be a pro yet, unless you had a family member or a close relative who played in the league can tell you this is what you're going to have to do when you get in the NFL. You're not going to know. You're not going to know you have to get in the cold tub after every practice. You're not going to know you have to watch another 2 or 3 hours of film, an extra 4 to 5 hours of film a week on top of what you're already watching with the team. More than that, like you're not going to know that. You're just going to think you're going to come in, all right, go over the game plan, go through the depth chart of the other team, and think you're going to go out there and play. And now, Ameer, I was able to be taught that. I was able to kind of lend that to Ameer. Ameer is able to lend that over to the younger guys on the team.
Isn't it fascinating? And I'm going to use you as an example. Isn't it fascinating? You come to Detroit. You're the new guy. You're finally getting your opportunity. You paid your dues and then some. You're finally getting your opportunity. And in the blink of an eye, you go from being the young guy to literally being the vet. I mean, really, it was that quick. I mean, once Reggie left, Joique, I mean, you can speak about it better than I could.
Yeah.
But once Reggie left, all of a sudden you went from the young guy just a couple years earlier to being you were the man. And it happened so quickly.
And it happened so quickly. But one thing that's similar to New Orleans, to what we were doing here, is that we didn't always want to take the leadership all the time, just in case one of the guys left, right? So every week we'll have RB night, right? And so to say the first night, Reggie will have RB night. The second night, I'll have it. Another night, Theo will have to do it. So when I was in New Orleans, every week somebody had to take over the RB night.
Yeah.
So Pierre Thomas would take over one night, LaDarren Sproles would take over another night, Mark Ingram would have a night, I'll have a night, Chris Ivory would have a night. So it's like everyone had to take kind of like ownership and or responsibility of making sure we had a good time that night, right? And so for me, I was able to get introduced at an early age, like, okay, this is what we can do to kind of build that team camaraderie outside of just giving out handshakes. And we have a read real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? We have to take a break. We're late for that. When we come back, we'll talk some NFL playoffs. I think we might have another guest coming up. I don't know 100% for sure, but I think we might have another guest coming up. Before we do that, you've heard the name just about everywhere. MyBookie. They're the industry's leading online sportsbook and casino. And it's not hard to understand why, with thousands of lines to bet on all your favorite sports. Yeah, they got the NFL, NBA, college ball. How about the MMA? How about soccer? They've got all the latest odds, period. Now, make sure you visit their mobile-friendly website today, and you can get your deposit, check this out, matched halfway up to $1,000. All you have to do is use the promo code Woodward when you make your first deposit. Credit card, bank transfer, Bitcoin, whatever the case may be, whether you're at home or on the go, your laptop or your phone, it's not too late to make your New Year's resolution and a resolution to get paid. Make sure when you go there, you use the promo code Woodward, and we appreciate MyBookie. All right, he's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. Big weekend of college football. Joique, I'm going to tell you point blank, I'm loving the AFC games. I am. I'm loving these AFC games. We'll talk about it when we come back. This is Baligian and Bell. So what is up? Glad you could join us. It is a Friday afternoon. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. A big weekend of NFL action this weekend as well. Joique, before we went to the break, I mean, no disrespect to the Rams and the Packers. And, yeah, the Buccaneers and Saints have two flat-out Hall of Fame quarterbacks there. I don't know what it is this weekend, man. It's those AFC games that got me all kind of jacked up. The Ravens and the Bills, this is going to be a big test for the Buffalo Bills, against a team that's kind of been there and done that. And that Browns-Kansas City game, man, it kind of has that Ohio State-Alabama feeling to me. Like these are two teams that can go out and score some points.
Those are two favorite teams? Those are two favorite games?
Those are my two favorite. Yeah, those are my two favorite. Really.
I'm excited to see this Tampa Bay and Saints game.
Yeah.
And then I also want to see the LA Rams and Green Bay game. I want to see that game.
I'm an AFC guy. You're an NFC guy. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, those are games I want to see.
Because normally I'm the NFC guy.
The Buffalo and the Ravens game is going to be a good game.
Yep.
I would say if I had to rank them, I would say probably the Saints in Tampa, Green Bay, LA, Bills, and then KC would be the last.
The crazy thing about this, and Joique, you can speak on this. Look, it's hard to sweep a team in your own division in the National Football League. It is very hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. New Orleans has already beaten Tampa twice, and oh, by the way, kicked the crap out of them both times. One game was 34 to 23. I think what was the other one, like 38-3? They've outscored them like 72 to 26. It's been insane this year. So Tampa's going to be ready for that. They remember that in the back of their head.
They do remember that, but right now the Saints are playing better offensively and defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the LA and Green Bay game because I just have some people that I'm rooting for on both teams. All right, on both teams, whether it be the front office or on the field. Right, so we have some Detroit people on one team. We have some people from the line organization on the other team that I'm like, okay, I want to see both do well. So I'm excited to see that game. The game that I think the closest game, though, if we're being honest, will probably be the Ravens in Buffalo.
agree.
I think that's going to be the closest game this weekend. But, we've been wrong before.
Isn't that the truth?
And we've been wrong before.
Well, I was
And
wrong
so we
last
can only sit back
weekend.
and wait.
Yeah,
we can only sit back and wait.
The one I was really wrong on was the Rams. I mean, I still can't believe what they did. They had a backup quarterback to start the game. He gets knocked out. You put your starter back in, who just had surgery on his thumb 2 weeks earlier, and you go into Seattle and you win that game. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Going into Seattle and winning a game and going into Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers and winning a game are two different things.
That's two different
Two
things.
different things, man.
You know what? One thing,
I like the packet.
One thing that makes Seattle, right, is a 12th man.
Yeah,
that's one thing that makes Seattle.
Yep.
And when you take that factor out, they can play like a different team. That's period.
I love, we've talked about it before. I like watching Buffalo. It's exciting. I'm happy for them. There's a rooting interest there because I like Josh Allen and obviously
Coach Huff.
We like Coach Huff. There's
For
no
sure.
doubt. This is going to be a test because I think a lot of people thought the Ravens were going to get punched in the mouth, but the Ravens showed they're still the big bully by punching Tennessee harder last week, man.
That was payback.
Yeah.
Even now. We even now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. And so I didn't, because I think when Tennessee beat them, they beat them at the Ravens, correct?
Yeah, I think it was.
They beat them at the Ravens, and then the Ravens went back to their house, and Tennessee said, no, we got to give it to you at your house now.
What do you make? Sometimes I think the media is very guilty of creating a story where there isn't one, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. Lamar Jackson a couple days ago made the terrible mistake of saying he doesn't want to play in the snow. And people are making a big deal about it. And it's like, well, who wants to play in the snow? I mean, especially if you're a guy like Lamar Jackson and has this. Now, I get it if you're the punch him in the mouth, old school 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Well, yeah, of course you want that, but no big deal about Lamar Jackson saying that. I mean, to me, that's somebody trying to create something of course he doesn't want to play in the snow.
There's nothing else to create there, man.
I think
don't
you're
feed
right.
into it. You're giving it fire right now. This scratch
It's
it.
stupid.
It's scratch it. It's
That's stupid for me bringing it up, I
stupid.
guess. So I got no problem saying that.
Yeah, you know what? And playing in the snow actually is not bad when it's, I guess, when you can control it, so to speak. When I say control it, not saying you control the weather. I'm saying when you can go on a turf field, and Buffalo has turf, and you can shovel the snow off. Now, you in Philly, right, it's grass. You can't shovel it off because it's grass. And so you have to play on all that snow, kind of like the 2014 game, right? And that was just uncontrollable. I mean, you couldn't, on film, in person, you can barely see, 5 to 10 yards in front of you, let alone all the way down the field.
It was a tough watch on television.
Yeah, it was
really
tough.
was.
I mean, it was tough to see it through those TV cameras that we pay so much money to have for the networks. But when you get tackled in the snow, it's like you getting tackled on a pillow, the initial hit. But those type of games are games for running backs like me, Derrick Henry, where it's cold out because everything hurts us a little bit more.
Tony Davis.
Yeah, Tony Davis.
He knows a little something about that.
Yeah, Tony knows a little something about that. He broke my record in something like that. So I give him kudos on that one. But yeah, seriously. I mean, if he doesn't like playing in the snow, I mean, he's not from up here. He doesn't know what it's like.
You know what? Give that guy the fast track, and I don't have any problem. Of course. Yeah. You know what? It's funny. Mason said Casey is going to run away with this one. That's why I said, Mason, Alabama, Ohio State. That's what I look at that game. I think the Browns are going to be able to get some. They're just not going to be able to get as much as Kansas City. I'm looking at. I love that over. I'm not going to lie to you, the 57. I love that over. And I did nail that about the national championship game. I got to give myself a little love there for some of my mistakes over the weekend. But that 57, I think that screams. Yeah. Now, obviously, check the weather. Weather's the great equalizer. But I look, Cleveland has shown they can put up some points.
Yeah.
They've shown that. I mean, they've got an explosive offense. They have explosive pieces. But their defense has shown that it's a sieve at times. And if there's anybody that's going to exploit that, it's that Kansas City machine, man.
Period. I mean, they have the athletes, they have the coaches, they have the game plan. What Andy Reid's been able to do with the offense and Eric Bieniemy, and with his time there, his stint there. I mean, you got two great minds together. It's gonna be. I don't see the Browns winning it, but we'll see. What we didn't see them beating. Well, actually, you know what?
I didn't see them beating Pittsburgh.
I wasn't surprised when they beat them. I'll say that.
I just thought from all the COVID stuff that they kind of had a stacked deck, and it seemed to me like they used it as fuel. I mean, they did. They used it as fuel. So, you know what's funny, and you know a little something about this guy. Scott just put a quote up. Peyton Manning was asked once if he wanted to beat the best teams to win a Super Bowl. He answered no. I want as easy of a time as possible. I just want the championship. I don't care how easy it is. I could not agree any more with what Peyton Manning had to say. I don't give a damn what path you. Here's the bottom line with stuff like this.
No,
but
I want to play the best.
But you know what, Joique?
It can be the best. Can still be easy to you.
If they lost, you don't have to apologize for somebody else's loss.
I hear you.
And that's what people go. Yeah, but you didn't have to play New England. Well, you know why I didn't have to play New England? Because they lost to Tennessee. That's not my fault. All I can do is play the teams that are in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to apologize for
we're not asking you to apologize for another team losing. Mm-hmm. We're telling you that if you want to be the best, you should want to play the best.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's it.
I get it. In its simplest form.
That's simplest form.
Yeah.
I don't want the easy route, But that's. I mean, I don't think.
Just
give
me 3 W's. Give me 3 W's. That's. Let me win my first round game, the NFC Championship game, and then the Super Bowl. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Let everybody else cry about that. I don't care if the Lions beat the 3 worst teams with the 3 worst records in the history of the National Football League.
Yeah.
If they beat an 8-8 team, if they beat a 7-9 team, and they beat an 8-8 team.
Hey, I'm telling you right
Super
now,
Bowl
those
champions.
those 9-7 teams in the playoffs, they turn into some beasts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you see what happened with the Patriots and the Giants.
Huh?
Yeah.
Whoa, those Giant teams. Jeez.
Everybody counting them out.
You know what's
funny?
They
didn't have a shot.
That one year, it was 2011, where all year long they had the injuries to their offensive line, and then all of a sudden, with a couple weeks left in the season, it was like everybody got back, and the way they started pressuring the quarterback, and in particular the way that they harassed Tom Brady that whole Super Bowl was unbelievable to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, they got after it. Mason said Buccaneers Saints is also must-see TV this weekend.
It's going to be a good game. I mean, I have the Saints winning. I don't see the Buccaneers.
So do I.
I just think that the Saints offense is better than the Buccaneers defense, and I feel like the Saints defense is as good, if not better, than the Bucs offense. So I mean,
It's fascinating, Mason. I don't know if you heard me say this earlier. It's crazy. New Orleans has clobbered Tampa in both games this year. One was 34-23. The other one was 38-3. I mean, if you look at what happened during the season, that's one thing. But as we talked about, Joique, those guys in that room know that. Hey, these guys embarrassed us one time really badly. So, what better time to ruin their season than to go down there?
Now. You know what? And in this game, right? It's hard to beat a team one time, let alone twice in the same season, in your division, and then to come back and play them in the playoffs and beat them again for a third time. With that type of veterans on the team, it can make it difficult. They'll make it difficult, but I don't see them beating the Saints at their place.
Nope.
I just don't see it.
Beat them 3 times, too. That'd be unbelievable. All right, let's start with Green Bay. Green Bay minus 6.5. I have no problem. I'll lay the 6.5. If it gets to 7, I might chicken out. That half point is big, so I can see Green Bay covering that. Bills and Ravens, I'm
14.
telling you, I wouldn't touch that game with a 100-foot pole from a betting standpoint. Because, I mean, would it shock you if Baltimore won that game? Nope. Would it shock me if Buffalo won that game? Nope. I'm not touching it. But for the sake of us doing a show, if I have to take one.
Hey, do a parlay right now. What you got?
All right. I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take the over on Kansas City and Cleveland. Over 57. I'm going to take Green Bay and minus 6.5. And you know what? I'm going to take the Saints. I'll lay the points. That's what I'd do.
You're not going to touch that game, right?
I don't want anything to do with that game.
You're not going to do over under?
That's why.
You want to do the over under on that?
Can I look at the weather? What's the weather supposed to be like?
It's Buffalo, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. It's
snow. It's Buffalo in January.
If there's snow in the forecast, I'd bury the under. I'd bury the under.
All right, so, say this. Say there's no snow, but it's below zero. Wind chill. That plays a huge effect.
Oh, it's massive.
It feels
absolutely.
Like, I'm gonna tell you this. So when I played for the Lions, and we'll go to Green Bay, we'll play Green Bay at the end of December, sometimes early January.
They did screw you guys for years like that.
Yeah, and it'll come down to that game for who will win the division.
Yeah.
Some of the time, and so say they do a kickoff, and the team is about to go, 3 and out. And they're about to punt the ball. So Stafford will go right there on the sideline, and he'll start throwing the ball to either receiver or running back, and sometimes it'll be me. And he'll be, about 10 to 15 yards away, throw it to me, I catch it, I throw it back. For people who don't know, when you catch the ball in, below zero temperatures, that lace on the ball where a pass is coming from arguably one of the strongest arms in the NFL, and you're catching that ball, it feels like a knife cutting through your fingers. It feels like a knife is just like when
do you ever look
at
him and go 9? Bring it down. Bring it down a few miles an hour.
No, because you can't be a little out there.
He's got to get warmed up.
You can't be a little out there. You got to because I'm gonna tell him not to throw hard on the field.
Yeah.
Get it to me, I'm gonna catch it. And so I have to catch like 5 or 6 passes, and even with my gloves on, it feels like a knife cutting through my gloves from the lace catching it and tossing it back. I'm like, man, this. Like I learned early in my career, like I'm not catching, before he goes out there if I don't have to. Like on the field, yes, but if it's not on the field, we'll get somebody back. We'll get somebody else over here to catch, and I'll just throw it back to the other quarterback. But yeah, no, the temperature. I would actually rather it snow than play in that type of weather.
For real?
Yeah, I would rather play in the snow than that type of weather because it's not as cold, right? It's not as cold for some reason. Like I'm pretty sure it could snow when it's below zero, but it never did when I played.
No,
I'd rather it just snow 'cause I feel like it's warmer, for some odd reason. This is how I feel.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Mason said or asked, do you guys think if Brady takes the loss, does he leave the game? No. And there's no reason for him to leave the game.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they're going to have to kick Tom Brady out this league. They're going to have to kick him out.
He said 45 a few years ago, and everybody laughed at him. But, Joique, he's going to be 44 this year, man. He's going to be and there's no reason for him to retire.
He's still playing at a high level. He said 45. He might kick it at 47.
Yeah? How about Drew?
How old is Drew now? 39, 40?
I think he's 39 or 40. You know what, though? I'm going to say, I think I brought this up to you. He looks it, though. Drew, that picture's great. The History Channel picture. It is. You know what? And when I say looks it, I'm not talking about physically. You've seen some limitations to his game now. Let's face it. You played with him. He already didn't have the strongest arm in the world. What makes him one of the best of all time, in my opinion, and a surefire Hall of Famer, is how concise he's been. But some of those mid-range throws, much was said during the course of the season, Joique, about how he's lost a little mustard off that. So to me,
he never had mustard.
Yeah,
he had precision.
Yeah, but it even more now. And so I think that's why I think a lot of people.
Are they in the playoffs?
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Are they winning?
Brees is 42. See, he looks older than Tom Brady to me. He does. I think Tom Brady, he looks older than Tom Brady.
No.
You don't think so?
No, he's winning.
Wow, there's no doubt about that.
That's crazy you say that, but look at what they did to him.
Well, and it's you know what? Sean Payton's got himself a heck of a team down there because they won some games with Taysom Hill as well.
Yeah, they did.
So
they did.
Taysom's interesting.
I'm telling you what winning can do to a team, right?
Sure.
Winning to a team, that's that's like building your team confidence, right? The more you win, the more you believe, the more plays you make, right? And I think that's what's going on down there. But I think they do have a good team. But when you're winning with a good team, like Rabbit said, no pressure.
Yeah, why would you want to leave?
No pressure.
No, why? I mean, honestly, if you can still get the job done, why would you want to leave? So, wow, I didn't know Breeze was 42. You know what's funny?
The big 4-2. You know who wore 42? Jack Robinson.
Yeah.
All right.
So does every major leaguer on Jackie Robinson Day. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
It's pretty dope.
Tell you how long ago Drew Brees was playing? I was doing, before I did Wayne State, I did Toledo in the MAC, and they came in. It was Joe Tiller's first game, and Toledo beat the crap out of them. It was before Joe Tiller got Purdue up. You know, if you remember, Purdue had some damn good years, and part of it was because of Drew Brees, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that tells you how long ago. That was 1997. That is a hell of a long time ago, man.
Goodness. And for people who don't know, that Sean is a historian of the game.
I'm a nerd.
He's a geek.
I openly
Stump
admit
the
it.
swab.
No, when I was a kid, seriously, we used to do things like, who won what Super Bowl, who won the Stanley Cup in a particular year, and all right, Joique, what year were you born? Here, I'm
86.
Okay, you were born in 1986. You ready?
You were born what in
1970. 1970. All right, so 1986. I'm going to use this as an example, right off the top of my head. The Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup over the Calgary Flames. The Boston Celtics won the NBA title over the Houston Rockets. In baseball, it was the New York Mets over the Boston Red Sox, and in the Super Bowl, it was the Chicago Bears over the New England Patriots, 46-10. I don't know why. It's just you retain crap like that. And if you want to waste your time and fact check me, you go right ahead. But I'll triple bet you that I got all four of those right.
You think?
I know for a fact.
Can I just say how disappointed I am in the lack of respect and response from Joique? You're spewing off these facts, and he's just on his phone. So disrespectful. How dare you? The man it's like Rain Man over here.
Before he started talking, did he raise his hand?
I did raise my hand, actually.
He did raise his hand.
And
Mr. Snitch over here.
And what we're gonna do is, for now, when he raises his hand, you look at me and be like, yeah.
Oh, I have to look at you first? Okay.
Yeah, before you be like.
So many stupid rules.
Art, now, Art, did you want to talk to Joique about you have a grievance with Joique?
Yeah,
right
I really
now,
do
right?
have a problem with Joique this morning. This morning, I was texted while I was producing the morning show. We got Ryan Boyles coming up next. I'm going to take us to break, and we'll be right back. We're going to play this commercial. We'll be right back.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
All right, welcome back in. So glad you could join us. Baligian and Bell Show on a Friday afternoon. You know what? It's interesting. The last guy we talked to played his college football in Lincoln, Nebraska. This guy played his college football in Norman, Oklahoma. One of the best all-time college football rivalries. College football misses Oklahoma and Nebraska, and of course we miss this guy as well. Played for the Detroit Lions. Let's welcome him in, Ryan Broyles. And first of all, Ryan, really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much for joining us. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I like the setup y'all got going there. This is sweet.
All right, can we get that volume up?
Can we get that volume up, Art? Art, what are you doing back there, Art?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Art is
Right
work.
now. Try it now.
All right, now let's say hi to Ryan. How are you, Ryan?
I'm sorry.
We got you.
I appreciate y'all.
RB, man, I'm sorry, man. You know, I got to apologize for the negligence on our end. Art. Once again, he's on the ones, not the twos.
Man. I get it.
I appreciate it. Hey, yo, RB, man, what's going on? RB, what's good?
Man, I'm good. It's good to see you over there, dude. Got the headset on, got the dreads really hanging. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they hanging,
All is well,
they...
though, man. All is well.
I see the kiddos in the background.
Yeah, my little boy, he's 1 year old now. You know, this work from home life. You know how it goes. So,
yeah,
he's having a little fit here and there. You know how it works. Yeah.
Look, real quick, you say working from home. Now, I see, like, if for people who don't know, Ryan is he's becoming a mogul in the real estate industry. So So can you tell people exactly what you're doing in real estate right now? Are you wholesaling? Are you doing multi-families? Are you investing? Are you flipping? Okay, I mean, you want to educate the people just on kind of what you're doing and all right.
Yeah, I'll give you a little background. So I started investing my rookie year in the league, 2012. Went full-time after retired in 2016. I found the BRRRR strategy to be the best for me. You go buy distressed properties and fix them up, have a little bit of equity. And we're buy and hold investors, so we go back to the bank, refinance the home, put a tenant in there, and keep the asset for the long haul. So that's what we've been doing. Midway through last year, we started the sales side of real estate. So me and my wife, we have our license, active agents here in Oklahoma. So now we're helping clients buy and sell and invest. And so just trying to build the whole branch of the Burroughs Real Estate Group.
Look at that definition of the power couple.
Love
the definition. That. Love it. You know, and I saw something. He said, you know what? And it's so, you know, I talked to Ameer Abdullah about this on the last conversation, just about how when people come in as, you know, younger players, how their only mindset is, you know, just ball, right? They don't really think about the business aspect and when they're done playing because they think the money's never going to run out, right? Yep. But for you got in as a rookie. You started investing relatively quickly. What prompted you, or what kind of motivated you to start investing early on in your career?
Well, it was kind of twofold. So my senior year in college, I tore my ACL, and you know I was rejected first, second round. After I tore my ACL, 8 games into the season, you know I had an agent, Justin Shulman, out of Athletes First, and he was like, you know, I've talked to some GMs around the league. Some say you're going to go second. Some say you could go undrafted. So I'm sitting here like, wow, I've spent my whole life balling, preparing to be a professional, and it might just taken away from me. So I was blessed enough to get drafted in the second round to the Lions, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do the best I can with the money. And then the rookie symposium was huge for me and a lot of rookies. So we went to Canton, Ohio out there, and one of the segments they talked about 70% of athletes go broke within 5 years of retiring. And so it was like the ACL, and I wasn't about to lose this money, and just a little bit of education, man. And so I heeded that information and just wanted to make sure that I did what was right for my future, my family's future, and really just the blessing of getting paid a lot of money early in life.
Yeah. You know what, though? And that's the thing with athletes, right? We get all this money on the front end, right? What, you know, some people have to wait till they're, you know, in their late 40s or 50s or 60s to get the lump sum that we get up front. And for us to be able to get that up front and be able to monetize our likeness, to be able to expand our wealth is very slim to none initially for a lot of athletes. But you was able to capitalize on your pot from the back, which is not done often. It's not done often. So I'm happy to hear that from you.
Yeah, I tell people a lot, man. I was like, I grew up in middle America. You know, I didn't grow up by the beach. I didn't grow up where people had nice Ferraris and things like that. I grew up where the median income is $45,000. So I didn't see a lot of luxury life. I didn't see a lot of things like that. And I never felt like I had to live up to some standard. So I think the thing that helped me out the most is I started working when I was 8 years old. I started mowing lawns, reffing basketball, football games in middle school and in the high school. So I was always at work. I was a bag boy at Albertson's grocery store. So I knew what it took to work hard. And then obviously when I got the money, I was like, you know what does it take to sustain this well? Because I know, like you said, a lot of guys don't make this money until they're 50 years old, if that. That's the peak earning years for a male. So then, you know, you talk to the right people, and the rookie symposium, like I mentioned, was awesome. And I just started researching books. You know, after that rookie symposium, I remember going home, back home in Detroit, And I just Googled online, like, what do rich people do with their money? I'm 24 years old, and they said they invest in the stock market and real estate. And it just grabbed my attention. And so when I started reading through these books, it was like, wow, I've never heard this. So I have some type of control over my financial life. And then I started thinking about some of my friends that lived in nicer houses, my friends that got cars at 16. And I started realizing, wow, they're doing what these books are telling me to do. So it kind of clicked for me then.
You know, Ryan, I got to ask you, you mentioned the knee injury. What people don't understand about this guy, he's one of the most prolific wide receivers ever at the college level. Ever. Period. End of story. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's second in receptions, second in yards, and this is a guy that suffered a catastrophic injury his senior year and had part of it shut down. Right. Ryan, take me back to what's going through your mind, because, you know, you've been doing this your whole life. You know that some good things are going. When you pop the knee, everybody knows right away. What's going through your mind in that moment, man?
It was wild. You know, it was the biggest injury to date in my career. You know, obviously you got your fingers here and there, your ankles here and there. You get taped up and you still run around. But yeah, I remember just going across the 50-yard line. It was an over route. Andrew Jones throws me the ball. I catch it. I'm like, I'm about to go score. Guy grabbed my jersey. So I jump in the air and I try to plant. And literally no one's touching me. And my knee just popped. And so I'm just like head on the ground like this is not normal. Walk off to the field. The trainers checked me out and said, Ryan, like, whisper in my ear, like, your ACL's gone. So I knew immediately, like, I had to think about the future. So I remember walking into the locker room and my agent was there. It was the first game he was there. And I'm like, man, do I have to go get a job? Like, that's literally the first thing I said. My wife was there as well and said, no, we've got doctors, we've got things like this. But I'm always the guy that if something happens bad to me, I'm going to find a way to overcome. So if it wasn't going to be football, it was going to be something else. Like I said earlier, I was blessed enough to recover, had good doctors, a support team around me to get drafted and have some life and some experiences in NFL.
Right. Now, I remember when you came to the Lions, right? And I was telling Sean that when we had Kellen Moore, like usually like me and you would be in the game doing preseason with them. And this was like early on. This is 2012. So this is like my first like full preseason with the Lions. And so we'll go out there and we'll always make magic, right? We'll always go out there, we'll make magic. Yeah, and we end up, you know, we end up making the team. But I remember the game against the Patriots when you came across on that and I think you was kind of like you came across, it was like a 10-yard dig. It was something simple, but you came across.
It was a dig,
and it was a dig, and you came across, and you were about to take a big hit, but you was able to bring in the catch and take the hit too at the same. To kind of show I'm not scared to come across the middle. And I was like, yeah, that guy got it. Like he have it. Like I don't think I've never told you this, but I always remembered that play. And so and I remember when you had your injury here, right? You had your first one, and then you came back. You came back, right? And then you had another injury after that. You was like, you know what? You were like, you know what, man? I'm gonna try to come back, but you know what? It's not worth it if if I come back and I don't feel 100, I'm just gonna hang him up. I remember you telling me that. And how was that? How would that transition like to make that decision? How did that like? It's tough.
How to come to? Well, man,
like
I said, so my yeah, you just get to a point, man, where it's, you play 16 seasons and you got the playoffs, and I didn't make it through any season, but my last one. And so when guys are out going on vacation, I'm over here rehabbing. So I didn't get the full feel of living the NFL dream, So after my rookie year, I tore my ACL. I think it was like the Colts, It was my first game to start right after one of my biggest games of my career on Thanksgiving Day versus Houston. Catch a bubble in the first or screen or whatever it might be in the first quarter of the game, and then my other knee pops. I'm like, man, like I've got to go through the offseason again. So then I'm like, all right, I'm determined. Like I'm doing this to prove that I can come back. I'm not proving that I can still play in the NFL. I'm proving that, I can overcome. I've got fans, I got family, people that are supporting me, so I can't just give up now. So I made it through the offseason and into the second year. I was a little bit slower, and then halfway through the year, I started catching my groove, starting to play a little bit more, and then, dang, the Achilles goes out. So the body was just beat up, man. Over time, it was like I was compensating forever, and so over the years, my mind just started changing. You know, I had the understanding of finances. I knew I did as much as I could to this point. And I didn't want to just continue to beat my body up and say, let me try to make it again. Beat my body up, let me try to make it again. I just got to the point where I wasn't playing how I wanted to play. And I couldn't walk into the weight room without thinking, I've got to rehab this, or I got to focus on this muscle. Whereas all the other guys are out there just playing football. They're not worried about their body. So it was just a mental strain, and my mind was always on. And there's just a point where I was like, all right, this is it. So preseason came my 4th year, wasn't playing much, and I was like, you know what, this is it. So I went up to the GM and said, hey, it's time for me to be released. Went back home to Dallas, and don't get me wrong, it was tough the first year. You know, it was the first year of retirement, I guess I could say. It was tough because it was like, you know, my mind wanted to continue to play. My body wasn't going to allow me. Plus, I knew I had to make a change for my life. I knew I wasn't most likely going to make it to a second contract. I didn't want to keep doing rehab. I knew my muscles weren't producing like the way they wanted to, or I wanted them to. So the first year was tough, seeing y'all out there doing your thing. And still to this day, you know, I feel like I still have some gas in the tank that I didn't get to really fully fulfill. But, man, over the years, I did my thing, and I'm proud of my career.
You know what I love hearing, Ryan? You are totally at peace. And that, as a human being, that makes me happy. I'm serious, because, you know, you hear stories like yours where guys don't know what to do, that, you know, football's over, what am I going to do? This is what I've known. But I'm hearing you talk about your family. I'm hearing you talk about your business and everything. And to me, as a human being, that's the stuff that I like to hear, because people forget you guys are human beings. And so for you to move on your life that way, I mean, big props for that, dude.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Well, you know, as an athlete, there's always going to be adversity that you have to overcome, and we're always trying to elevate ourselves mentally, physically. So the transition, you know, into the business world, it's like, okay, what do I have to get done? So I always tell people today, they say, what has football done to you? That translate into the business world. I always talk about, you know, Jim Caldwell sitting the team down in the mornings and saying, hey, I read this book. This touched me. This is how we should live our life as men. And I've got my got Coach Stoops at OU that conducted his office and his offensive coordinator and his defensive coordinator, giving them leverage, giving them resources to go out and do their thing. So now that I'm a CEO of my business, when we hire employees, I look at the same way. I'm the CEO. I got the offensive defensive coordinator. I've got my skill positions. I got it all. So football has definitely helped, and I guess sports in general. You know, they allow you to understand the structure, what it takes to overcome adversity. Really just the bullet points of how to get better every day. So that's what I've been able to carry on in my post-football career.
You know, it's funny. So I was telling them before we brought you on the show, I said, like, Ryan Burroughs has this smile that light up the room. He's always smiling. He's always has a positive spirit. That's one thing I always admired about him, always a positive attitude. Even when he told me that, listen, he said, I'm going to give it one more shot, but if my body don't work this time, then I'm gonna hang it up. But he did it with a smile on his face. Just like he was at peace at that time. But other than that, though,
yeah,
man, I'm great.
Life is what you make it, man. Life is what you make it, dude. You know, so obviously, you know, everyone wants to make it to the NFL. Everyone wants to be the Calvin Johnson and the Hall of Famers and things like that, and very few get to do that. But I am proud of my career. Not a lot of guys. 1% of guys make it to the league, and I stayed 3.
No,
you know, through the adversity, getting beat up, and all experiences with you beating you with ping pong every day, Joy. You know what I mean? I can't take that.
Oh, yeah. You know what though? I was gonna bring it up too. So we had the ping pong table in the locker room, right? And so after preseason, regular season, postseason, we're on the ping pong table. And I would say the best players on the team, it wasn't me. It was Ryan Broyles. It was Golden Tate, Rasheem Mathis.
Rasheem, yeah.
And then, Rasheem. And another person that was really good, but he didn't play often, was Ziggy. Ziggy was really good, but he didn't play often.
Yeah, he was.
Ziggy was good. Right? Yeah, you forgot about that. We had a quarterback.
The running back room, they all thought they had it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we didn't have it. No, we was trash. I was probably the best person in the running back room, and that was over time. But RB now, oh boy, and right now, we'll go at it. I went to Golden Tate crib and beat him twice in his house. You know what I'm saying? So, because
So he falling off
in his house. So he said he's gonna come. So he said he's gonna come on the show probably sometime this off season.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna talk about the time when we played. So we went down there I was down there for his birthday. It was a surprise birthday party. Elise set it up. I was already in LA training, so it was just a quick drive for me to get down there. We went to the horse race, the Derby. We went down there for that, and then after that, we went back to the house. We played a little bit of ping pong that night, and I was smacking him at his own house on it. So I beat him the first game. He said, "Let's run it back."
I don't believe it.
Let's run it back.
If it's not on footage,
he was hot.
Shit.
Oh, he was hot. But you know what though, you know what? You were a finesse player though. So RB was a finesse player. He's not going to spike it every time. He's going to get it back to you. He's going to let you kill yourself. And that's how he played. And the one thing that he worked on that made him, the one thing that he worked on that made him better than everybody else, he took a couple of L's trying to learn it. But once he got his backhand down, it was a wrap. You got your backhand down, it was a wrap. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Long haul, yeah. You bought it from time to see the person's weakness, you know what I mean? And then you switch up the serves from left to the right. It's a great game.
You know, it's funny. So I will play Ryan and he'll teach me, right? So I'm like, well, bro, how do you do this? And like, I would really try to get tips from him because you guys had we had a quarterback on the team. He was, he didn't end up making the team, but he was really good. And you guys would be playing like, and this one we had the running back lounge. I mean the team lounge in the locker room, like in the room. And people were playing there with and so, but he was really good. I forgot his name. Frederick? I don't know. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it was like Franklin, right?
Franklin, yeah, it was Frank. It was Frank. I think his last name was Franklin. And he was nice though. I was like, dang, they good. And so that's what made me really get into ping pong. And then I end up getting one in the house. And so I play like against my son. I play against company. You know, do you remember Troy Burrell?
Oh yeah, for sure. I talk to him I probably talk to him once a month still. He's still out there too.
You do? Yeah, he's still out. So he's doing training now. So he'll come over to the house. And me and him will play. When I say we'll play, we're in that thing sweating. I gotta come out the shirt. We in that thing.
It's competitive too.
It's competitive, but people don't understand how competitive it is, though. Cause Sean plays. Sean plays too.
He's got my style. Like hearing you're Ryan. That's me. You know what? I'm gonna let them go be He-Man. Yeah. Go be He-Man. I'm gonna drop a shot on you and watch you lose your crap.
I'm gonna tell you who had the best spike, though.
Yeah. That's it.
I'm gonna tell you who had the person who had the best spike. Well, you can put it anywhere. It'd probably be Sheen. Right? Sheen Math. You can put it. He was a lefty
Sheen
too. He was a. Sheen was just he was searching.
You're right.
Whenever y'all played the 21, I could never beat Sheen. But we go to like 11. I can beat Sheen. I can't beat him going to 21. He'll start picking you apart. Yeah. But yeah, the good times, man. Yeah. Good times.
Hey, Ryan, really appreciate you. Appreciate you taking the time. I'm so glad things are going well for your family. One last question. One of our viewers wanted me to ask you this. He said, "Ask RB how fast and hard a ball comes from number 9, Matthew Stafford."
Too fast and too hard. Too fast and too hard. I'm like, Matt, bro, we need a little touch, bro. You got to get a little touch sometimes. I'll tell you one story, though. I remember this was probably my sophomore year or my second year in the league. We're playing the Cowboys, and I go across the middle. It's right before half. I'm running, under a linebacker in between the safeties, and like if he would have just led me, like, bro, just give me a little touch, like I'm catching, I'm scoring. What he wants to do is he want to put it on the back shoulder. You know how Matt is. He's like, I'm gonna put it where I want to put it. Do it between the linebackers. I'm turning backwards and whatnot. And he goes right through my hands. I was like, I've never seen a ball go so fast in my life, man. But he's a great quarterback, though, man. Hopefully he get another shot out there, man. But he's definitely had a great career, man.
Yeah. Real quick, last thing. I was telling him about when you play in this type of weather, like in the cold weather, like when it's like below 0 or 1 degrees outside, when you're catching the ball, how does it feel with your hands when you're catching? What does it feel like?
It's really no touch, but over time you just got to just backstop it. And a lot of guys just catch with the body when it gets cold, because if you've been a big round cold, it's over for you. But yeah, I know we did the Vaseline, then the latex gloves, and then the gloves. So you kind
Oh,
of.
that's why I just wore the straight gloves. That's why I felt that, because I just wore straight gloves. So you guys had the little trick. Oh, I didn't do it right.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it used to feel like a knife cut.
Yeah.
It used to feel like a knife cut through my fingers,
let me
boy.
repeat that again for the young cats that are listening. It's the Vaseline, latex gloves, and then the gloves. Your hands will be good. You lose a little mobility, but you're not frozen.
That's the pro right there. Hey, Ryan, really appreciate the time, man. I'm serious when I say I'm glad things are going well for you and your family. Continued success.
Appreciate you.
I'm going to tap in with you,
All
bro,
right,
man.
well,
Everybody.
have me on.
No problem, man. Hey, Ryan Bros, everybody, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. I'll be in contact. Let's do some business together.
All right, we'll see y'all, boys. Take it easy.
All right, my guy.
All right.
My guy.
Pretty
good
cool.
peoples, man.
Yeah, good dude. Phenomenal college receiver.
Oh, my God.
If you go ahead, fact check me. Go look up his numbers. I mean, they are historical. That's the type of career he had in college football, and that's saying a lot. There was that span they had at Oklahoma. There was Broyles doing what he was doing, and one of the most dominant guys I've ever seen in college football, Justin Blackman. You remember Justin Blackman?
Mm-hmm.
Went to Oklahoma State. I mean, he bombed in Jacksonville. That guy, I mean, just sick numbers. Really fun football in Oklahoma. All right, one more break before we get out of here on a Friday. So glad you could join us. Joique, Bell, Sean, Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Boy, great guest today. Joique, seriously, well done. Yeah, you pulled some good ones today, dude.
Appreciate it.
3 good conversations.
You know what, though, man? Playing in this league is like a small fraternity.
Sure.
Right, and so you go around, you meet people, and I've been blessed enough to meet some great people. Clarissa's great, humble. Playing with Ameer and Ryan, great people. Even people that I didn't play with, like Rabbit. It's just great people. You meet people and you gravitate towards each other, and then this is what it's all about. Like when you're done playing, these guys still have that bond. And you can really tell a person's character by how they treat you when you're done playing, right? And I've been able to have a good relationship with a lot of people post-career. So very blessed and fortunate.
We even got a Troy Burrell reference in there, and if you don't know who Troy Burrell is, he spent a little time with the Lions, but he was, in a word, dominant in his time at Wayne State. When he was a senior, he just made plays. He was one of those guys, that thing that Stafford and Marvin Jones have, right? It's, they use the term 50-50 ball, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a 50-50 ball when you're throwing over Marvin Jones. It's more like a 90-10 ball. 90% of the time he's going to come up with the ball. He and Stafford have that thing going on. Troy Burrell, his senior season, he was that guy. You threw it anywhere near him, he was making a play. Usually,
right.
That's what he was going to do.
Let the country.
Yeah,
let the country in yards.
He was insane. I mean, it was, Mickey Mockner was a quarterback, and Mick threw it anywhere near him. Troy was making a play. That's just the way it was, and that's a special talent to have. And he,
40-inch vert.
Hey, listen, again, another D2 guy that gets a look with NFL teams. I love seeing that stuff.
Somebody said, we'll love to see number 9 on this show. We'll see.
Yeah, be great.
Yeah.
He's welcome.
Yeah, that'd be great to have him on the show.
Yeah, let's. I think this offseason is going to be interesting. I don't know what his plans are. I'm not going to sit here and talk about what his plans are. But I think when you have to wonder aloud. Well, do the Lions, do they want him in their plans? And that's something that Brad Holmes is going to have to talk about. That's number one. And number two, does he want to stomach another rebuild? And I don't know the answer to those questions. And until those questions are answered, that's just the way it is. Fans, media, everybody's going to speculate. But I'm not going to speak for anybody.
You know what, though? And I think that Brad Holmes, by him leaving the Rams and coming here and getting the position here, and the Rams being able to bring these guys up, they get extra draft picks for that?
Yeah. They get those
2 third-round picks.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Draft picks are important.
Yeah, draft picks
are important.
They're very important.
That's why I'm going to say it again. This is why I love this pick, okay? Is it sexy? Nah. Were there bigger names out there? Sure. You know what? This is a franchise that long overdue has to start making the draft count. You know, it's only been here or there. Yeah. I know Martin had the one really good draft. Was at 13. That was the one really good draft with like Sam Martin and Ziggy and those guys. That was a really good draft.
Was that Van Noy too?
I think Van Noy was 14. Was he 14? I don't remember. Because Ziggy may have been. But that was a really good draft. Yeah. You know, and that, unfortunately, there have been few and far between. And, you know, like we talked about with Bob. Bob's had a couple nice picks. You know, getting Kenny Galladay where he got him. Great pick. You know, that unfortunately, there haven't been enough.
Because Slade was 14, right? Or was he 13?
Slade was 14, right?
14,
wasn't he? Remember when everybody said he was going to be a bust? I love that.
I never
stuff.
heard that.
Well, yeah, in my business, you couldn't believe we wasted a draft pick on some kid from Mississippi State. And I'm going, he's a rookie cornerback in the NFL, man. Can you give him a little time? Just give. And I say the same thing about Jeff Okudah to this day. You know what?
You can't do that because he doesn't have that leadership in the room like what Slade has.
No.
So it's going to take him longer to get developed.
Yes.
You have a guy like that. You have a guy like that who comes here as a first rounder, who's leaving practice, no family here. He's going home by himself. There's no one for him to look towards or to get information from in the DB room, and he's just going home and studying on his own. Like, who can he call? Who can he talk to?
You know how it is. It's that instant reaction. Nobody can give time.
Did you hear what Ameer said? How when he came to the lines, he had people like me and Theo to help guide him. Right?
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yep.
And he's doing quite well for himself in Minnesota. I'm happy for him that he was able to go there and kind of and fit into a system where he can be successful, where they can use him correctly. I'm happy for him, but I don't think people understand how crucial that is in the NFL.
Hell yeah.
They don't understand. They think that if you're good in college, that you're going to automatically be successful, and that's not always the case.
Truth. Hey, we got to get out of here. Joique, always a pleasure. Art, thank you. You've been doing double duty the last couple of days, so we appreciate you.
Double duty? What's he been doing?
He's been doing Kennedy's job, too. I mean,
Oh, and the morning show, too. No big deal, though. Joique, I'll make sure that you get your paper on Monday.
Bye.